Good afternoon, everyone. This hearing is being live streamed on OTA's YouTube channel. This is the Office of Tax Appeals hearing for the appeal of Abolfazli. I'm going to explain a few logistics about how this electronic hearing will work. And after that, we will officially go on the record. And then once we are on the record, I will ask the participants to identify themselves. If at any time anyone has difficulty with the technical issues related to the video conferencing, please speak up and let us know. To reduce background noise, we suggest muting yourself when you're not speaking, but please remember to unmute yourself when it's your turn to speak. Also, please remember to turn off your cell phone ringers so that we will not be disturbed by any ringing phones. As I mentioned, today's proceedings will be live streamed to the public on YouTube, so any information is publicly viewable. Therefore, please be careful not to share any confidential documents on your screen or share any confidential information, such as home addresses or social security numbers. Today, our stenographer is Ms. Alonzo, who is reporting this hearing verbatim. To ensure that we have an accurate record, we ask that everyone speaks one at a time and does not speak over each other. Also, speak clearly and loudly into the microphones. When needed, the stenographer will stop the hearing process and ask for clarification. After the hearing, Ms. Alonzo will produce the official hearing transcript, which will be available on the Office of Tax Appeals website. Now, if everyone is ready, Ms. Alonzo, if you are ready, very good. We will go on the record. And we are on the record for the appeal of Abolfazli. This is OTA case number 2402156362. Today is Wednesday, August 20th, 2025, and it is approximately 1:16 p.m. We are holding this hearing electronically over Zoom with the agreement of all parties. I will start by asking each of the participants to please state their names for the record, and I'm going to start with the CDTFA representatives.
Amanda Jacobs, attorney in the department's legal division.
Chad Backus, also an attorney in the department's legal division.
And Jason Parker, Chief of Headquarters Operations Bureau with the department.
Okay, thank you. And next I'm going to ask appellant Dr. Abolfazli, if you can please identify yourself for the record.
Yes, I'm Abolfazli, the taxpayer.
Okay, and now I'll ask each of appellant's witnesses to identify themselves. Ms. Camarena.
Linda Camarena, Amin's wife.
Right. And Mr. Iden, can you identify yourself? I think you are muted. Can we unmute Mr. Iden? Mr. Iden, can you identify yourself for the record?
Erkan Aydın.
Thank you. And Mr. Kosniak, can you please identify yourself for the record? And you are muted, Mr. Kosniak. Can you unmute? You are still muted. I'll ask our staff if we can unmute Mr. Kosniak.
Mir Kushniyat.
Thank you, everyone. All right, I'm Suzanne Brown, and I'm the lead administrative law judge for this case. My co-panelists today are Judge Greg Turner and Judge Michael Geary. Although I am the lead panel member for purposes of conducting the hearing, all three panel members are co-equal decision makers in this process and are free to ask questions or otherwise speak up at any time. This hearing is before the Office of Tax Appeals, or OTA. OTA is not a court, but is an independent appeals body. OTA is staffed by tax experts and is independent from the state's tax agencies, including independent from CDTFA. Because OTA is a separate agency from CDTFA, arguments and evidence that were previously presented to CDTFA are not necessarily part of the record for our case today unless those arguments and evidence have been submitted to OTA. OTA's written opinion for this appeal will be based upon the briefs the parties have submitted to OTA, the exhibits that will be admitted into evidence today, and the arguments presented at the hearing today. As a reminder, the panel does not engage in what's called ex parte communications, meaning that the panel members do not speak to one party without the other party present. I'm just going to briefly go over a few logistical things before we hear the parties' presentations. We had a pre-hearing conference in July, and I issued a document called Pre-Hearing Conference Minutes and Orders. And as we discussed at the pre-hearing conference, and as it is confirmed in the minutes and orders, the issue for the hearing is whether appellant is personally liable for the unpaid sales and use tax liabilities of Amin Auto Group, Inc. for the period January 1st, 2019 through July 31st, 2019, pursuant to Revenue and Taxation Code Section 6829. I'll just ask first, Dr. Abolfazli, can you confirm that's your understanding of the issue?
Yes, I do.
Okay, and CDTFA, that's your understanding of the issue also?
Correct.
Okay, I'm just going to briefly discuss the exhibits, and then I will admit exhibits into the record. Both parties timely submitted proposed exhibits by the deadline, which was 15 days prior to the hearing. I asked the parties to submit any objection to admission prior to the hearing. In terms of the exhibits, appellant submitted 6 pages in a PDF document and then also separately an Excel spreadsheet. I was going to mark the exhibits in appellant's PDF document as exhibits 1 through 3. I was going to mark Exhibit 1 as the Secretary of State Statement of Information, and then Exhibit 2 as the notes, the CDTFA notes of conversations, and then Exhibit 3 is the printouts of the text messages. Dr. Abolfazli, is that does that work to mark those as 1 through 3?
Absolutely.
Okay. And then I will mark the Excel spreadsheet as your Exhibit 4.
Perfect.
Okay, thank you. And CDTFA did not raise any objection to admitting these documents into evidence. And so I'll just confirm, CDTFA, you have no objection to admitting appellant's exhibits 1 through 4 into evidence?
No, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Then appellant's exhibits 1 through 4 are admitted into evidence. Next, CDTFA timely submitted its proposed exhibits that are marked exhibits A through L. I will note that exhibits K and L were ones that I requested during the pre-hearing conference so that we would have the re-audit and the options letter in the record. Briefly, I'll just recap that during the pre-hearing conference, appellant raised an objection to admission of some of the pages in CDTFA's exhibits, the pages that contain text messages, and I overruled that objection because it pertains to the weight the panel should give to the messages, but not to the admissibility. Admissibility is governed by OTA's regulation 30214, and there were no grounds that appellant raised that warranted not admitting the documents. But appellant is free to raise arguments regarding the weight that those documents should receive, and we will consider those arguments. We did not receive any other objections to CDTFA's exhibits A through L. And Dr. Abolfazli, I'll just confirm you do not have any other objections to admitting those documents into the record so that the panel may consider them as part of the hearing today. Correct?
That's correct. No objection.
Thank you very much. Then CDTFA's exhibits A through L are admitted. Now, appellant identified a total of 4 witnesses, including himself and the other 3 witnesses who are here today. And CDTFA is not calling any witnesses. I'll just go over briefly the timeline that we're looking at. The appellant's presentation will take up to 60 minutes. And then we may have questions for the witnesses at that time. When we are done with that, or we may have questions for appellant at that time. When we are done with the appellant's presentation, we will then hear CDTFA's presentation, which should take up to 30 minutes. At that time, we may have questions for both parties. And then I've scheduled 10 minutes, up to 10 minutes for appellant's rebuttal. And if CDTFA has anything to add at the end, we can also have time for that. If at some point anyone needs a brief break, please speak up and say so. Is there anything, does anyone have any other questions about the hearing or the proceedings or other topics that I have not yet covered? Dr. Abolfazli, do you have anything else to raise before I swear in the witnesses?
No, thank you so much.
Okay, CDTFA, do you have anything to raise? Or any questions?
No, thank you.
Okay, thank you. And I will note, Dr. Abolfazli, you indicated that at least one of your witnesses will need to leave. So I'll suggest in terms of your presentation, you may want to have that witness testify first, and then we can have any questions for that witness. I believe it was Mr. Aiden needs to leave at 2 o'clock.
That is correct. That is
Okay.
correct.
So what I'll suggest is, I don't know if you want to make a brief opening statement, or if you just want to go in ahead right and have Mr. Aiden's testimony, and then we can have questions for Mr. Aiden.
Let me just confirm with him, Mr. Aiden, how long you can stay? Do you still have to go by 2 or you can stay longer? You're mute. You're on mute.
If we can unmute Mr. Aiden.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
Okay.
Okay. My battery is like 70%. I disconnected. I'm sorry very much. Okay.
No, no.
I have 20%.
How long you can stay? How long you can stay?
I can still half an hour, 45 minutes, but depends on the battery.
Battery. Okay, so we'll do first with you. Okay.
All right.
All right, sure.
Then what I'm going to do is I will swear in Mr. Aiden first, and we'll have his testimony, and then separately I will swear in the other 3 witnesses.
Yes.
Mr. Aiden, if you hold on. Okay. Mr. Aiden, if you want, you can turn off your video if that would make it easier for you. You can turn off your video if that would make it easier for you to be connected to us. Oh, you're muted again. Can you unmute, please?
Can you hear me now?
We can hear you. I'm just saying, if you want to turn off your video, that might, I don't know if that would help your connectivity.
Okay, I try because this phone is not mine. I don't know how to use it. I'll try. Okay.
Okay.
Let's see.
I'm going to say, never mind. Well, let's just go. We can. I don't want you to be disconnected. Do we have Mr. Aiden on the line?
Technology.
Mr. Aiden, okay, we can hear you. Mr. Aiden, I can't see you now. Hold on. I'm sorry. Okay. Mr. Aiden, I can't see you anymore, but if you could please raise your right hand, I will swear you in. Do you swear that the testimony, or swear or affirm that the testimony you are about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Mr. Aiden, I cannot hear you.
Can you hear me?
All right, hold on. Oh, okay. All right, you know what, we're gonna take a brief break and we're gonna ask Mr. Aiden to phone in, use the, instead of using the video connection, so that, because there's a dial-in option. So if everyone can stay on the line, but my office is going to take a break from, and put everyone in a waiting room. Yes, go ahead and put everyone in the waiting room. Thank you. And we're off the record.
Favor?
Okay, please wait. We are back on the record, and we are with the appeal of Abolfazli. Now we are all reconnected after a short break, and we were going to hear the testimony of Mr. Iden from appellant. Dr. Abolfazli, are you prepared to ask questions of Mr. Iden once I swear him
Yes.
in as a witness? Okay, Mr. Iden, I believe I was trying to swear you in
Yes, ma'am.
previously, and I'm going to
Yes,
swear.
ma'am.
I'm going to swear you in as a witness now, because I don't know how much of that made it onto the record. As I was saying, do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am. I do.
Okay. And Dr. Abolfazli, you can go ahead with your questioning of this witness.
Thank you. So, Mr. Aydin, first question, is that true that you start working with OC Imperial Motors or Amin Auto Group at that time in 2005 and been with the business till closure in 2019?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And at the beginning, when we start working, you were working with me. Can you tell us after 2014, end of 2014, when I left, was I involved in operation of the business in any capacity as far as you know?
No, sir. You left the country. You went to school. You are not there.
And after I left, did you stay with business?
Yes, sir. I stayed for a while.
Okay. And so you have the knowledge of who was selling, who was basically operating the business, and you were witnessing the operation day-to-day operation of the business, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. So I think that's all I need for now.
That's it. Thank you.
So
This is Judge Brown. I'm going to say,
Yes, ma'am.
okay, Dr. Abolfazli, if that completes your questioning of the witness, then I will first ask if CDTFA has any questions for this witness.
No, thank you.
Okay. And then I will ask if my co-panelists have any questions for this witness. First, I'll ask Judge Geary. Do you have any questions?
Yes, please. Let's see, is it Iden? Is that how you pronounce your name, sir?
Yes, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Mr. Iden, what was your job with the company?
The company that time is, first is Eminato Group, after they changed the OC Imperial Motors.
Were you in touch?
Can you repeat that, please? I didn't understand what his answer was.
Yes, Mr. Iden, this is Judge Brown. Can you repeat your answer clearly for the stenographer?
Okay. Emin Auto Group, the first name of the company.
No, your answer is what was your job at the business at Amin Auto Group?
Yeah, detail the cars, transfer the cars, pick up the customers.
Okay. So you were not involved in sales then, were you?
No, sir, no.
And you had nothing to do with managing the books?
No, nothing.
Did you remain in touch with Dr. Abolfazli while he was at medical school?
No, because he's out of the country. I don't know his number, and I disconnected with communication.
And based upon what you saw, who did it appear to you was in charge of the car lot while Dr. Abolfazli was in school?
There's another Iranian person.
And
But
what was that person's name?
Sam,
Say again?
like Samuel. Sam,
Sam?
yes.
And could you spell the last name for me?
Okay. What? I think the YESA, something like that. I don't remember. I forgot.
Okay. And
Okay. SAYED. SAYED.
okay. And that's his last name?
Yes.
All right. And it seemed to you that he was in charge during the period of time that Dr. Abolfazli was in medical school?
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you. Those are the questions that I have.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And Mr. Iden, if you can hold on, please. We may have more questions. Judge Turner, do you have any questions for this witness?
No, not at this time. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. In that case, I will say I just have one more question for Mr. Iden.
Yes.
When did you stop working for the business?
I don't know exactly, but that time also the Mr. Mo, short name we call them Mo, and then the other person, his friends, also working with them. And then when did Mr. Sam find another partner, change his business to move out from there, and he let me go out, but I don't know exactly the date. I'm sorry.
Was it in 2019 or before 2019?
After.
After 2019?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. Those are all the questions that I think we have for this witness at this time. So I will say we can proceed on with the rest of appellant's presentation. Dr. Abolfazli?
Can I just confirm one thing?
Yes, go ahead.
So what just as I got after I left, you mentioned
Right.
Mo and another friend was working or was running, and then after that they get involved with another guy named Sam, and after that Mo left and then Sam took over the lot. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm finished with you.
But there was a little confusion that who took over after and then the time frame.
Oh,
All right. Mr. Iden, I don't think we have any further questions for you at this time. So
okay.
I'm good. Okay. I
Thank
will
you very
say
much.
thank you. I will say that I know that you have to leave at 2 o'clock for your work. So unless anyone, CDTFA has any objection, I will say that you're dismissed from testifying now. Thank you.
Thank you very much. You have
Thank
a
you.
great day, ma'am.
Okay,
On the
Dr.
other guys, whoever there.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right.
Bye.
Dr. Abolfazli,
Yes.
we
Yes,
can
Anna.
proceed with the rest of your case. I'm going to remind you that I understand we had a lot of disruption there.
I
I
know.
did allot you 60 minutes. And so I had that we used I started at 1:45. So it's that testimony took about 7. So you have 53 minutes left to present your
Awesome.
case. What I would like to do now is I will swear you in as a witness, and if you're going to call your other 2 witnesses, I can swear the 3 of you in all at the same time. If we have Ms. Camarena and Mr. Kosniat on the line, I believe
Sounds good.
we
Yes.
do. Okay, so I will say, I think Mr. Kosniat is muted. Mr. Kosniat, if you can unmute. Very
Unmute,
good.
please.
Thank you very much.
You're
I'm going to
welcome.
ask all 3 of you to please raise your right hands. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you are about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Yes, I do.
Thank you all. Dr. Abolfazli, I'm going to let you present your case however you want in terms of who you want to have testify first. Let's just make clear who you're talking to at each time. Please ask a question to one witness or the other witness, or you can testify, but don't ask both of them to respond at the same time because we need to have only one person speaking at the same time, speaking each time. Otherwise,
Absolutely.
okay, thank you. Otherwise, you can proceed.
So how do you want the timing to be? How many minutes me and then the CD? Oh, you mentioned at the beginning.
Right.
Okay.
You have about 50, let's say 50 minutes left.
Okay. All right.
Okay, thank you.
So I'm so sorry that everybody is here. Honestly, it's a lot of work on everybody. I apologize. It was out of my hand, and the whole case is, if you look at it, it's like missing the forest for a tree. So the whole thing, there are bunch of pages, like 300 pages over there, bunch of, hearing, but the whole big forest is missing here. And that would be, okay, what exactly happened? Briefly, there is a business, OC Imperial Motors, which is under a corporation, Amin Auto Group, which has its own legal entity. It's a separate entity. It started doing business and unfortunately didn't make it. Now, the question is, when it goes down, that person, the legal entity, had some dues to do. The state says there's the section 6829 that, hey, it happened before, businesses close down, they collect the money for government, they don't pay the money to government, and then they pocket the money. Let's put some regulation to basically stop that. Okay, based on that, which sounds fair, the state gonna go and look for, okay, what happened? Is there a responsible person for the sales taxes that are due and have not been paid? What happened here, they come to this business, they talk to one person except me, and they made the judgment, and they didn't dig a little bit. That's why I'm saying that they miss the forest. This is what happened, just briefly. 2005, I started this business. I've been out of group. 2000, I think 13, 14, we got involved with 2 other individuals because this case is about if I am the responsible party, I don't want to bring others' names unless, is needed. But this case is basically that is Amin responsible for this matter. So I try to not get people's involved. So another 2 individuals get involved, and then I left the country at end of 2014, a few hours before end of 2014. And at that time, the whole operation, the whole business was transferred on an agreement to those 2 individuals. The plan was that they do the transfer of the corporation to their name, so I'll be off the liability. The whole thing moving out of the country happened really fast because they just give me admission and then they say I can start the next week. And I just 1 week to get everything to move out of the country. So everything was just so fast. So I give the authorities to we talked about it, that what they do. I told them that I'm leaving, they're gonna run the business and I can help at any capacity. Anytime they have question, I'm available, and please transfer the company to ownership to your name. That was the reason that after that I put one of them as the treasury and also secretary, which is qualified to do all the financials and do all the file and paperwork and everything. Unfortunately, that transfer did not happen. So on the paper, I still remained as the sole ownership. I mean, the sole shareholder, corporations have shareholder of the business. 2018 looks like businesses start going down. I noticed that the business is going down, and it was a really, really bad time because my name is legally on the line when I don't buy any car. I didn't sell any car. I was not involved in direction of any of the sales. I was not deducting. I was not collecting. I helped as they needed at some time, like the sales tax filing, as you see over there. I filed a few of them. Most of them been filed by the manager, general manager, but sometimes he needed help. I act as a help, like an accountant or consultant. The biggest problem at that time is they had some money in the business and then they start losing money. And when they start losing money to purchase vehicles, they opened a line that in car business, Amir also knows about that. We can confirm with that. There is a line which is called flooring line. How does flooring work? You talk to the company, looks like that they open an account with Next Gear, which is associated with Cox, which is the biggest auctioneer in the country. They open a credit line with Cox. And how does it work? They purchase the vehicle in the auction, they sell the vehicle, and Cox Company or the Next Gear hold the title. The sales has happened, but to get the title out of the Next Gear, what they have to do, they have to pay off Next Gear Company. So that is the whole that they went through. And little by little, they sold the car, sometimes with loss. They sold the car and they have to pay even more to the Next Gear to release the title, to give it to the customer or register it under the name of the customer. So if you look at the bank accounts, there is a lot of transactions, thousands and thousands of transactions. If you look a little deeper, you see every car that is sold is being paid later. So the money that were coming, it was partial supposed to go for DMV, partial supposed to go for sales tax, partial supposed to go to the Next Gear. Unfortunately, that didn't happen. So when the business was going down, I noticed by the manager that looks like he's short. He cannot make the payments on the taxes. Now we are short. And the only option was to close the business. Since I am legally still on the paper, I had to act to close the business. Otherwise, things are going to be even worse. And when he sold the car, I was asking him, how is the thing going? How much money you are collecting? How much tax we owe? How much all of those we have? He did not have the information. To date, I still don't have the information, the detailed information. What we did was, okay, when I got involved, when I was closing the business, the most important thing for me is, okay, the cars are gone, the title need to be released from the Next Gear to be registered under the customer name. Because if that doesn't happen, we are dealing with like 50, 60 lawsuits. And I think even a crime, even a felony, I'm not sure, but that is very ugly. So I asked Mo at that time, please release those cars. And when he closed the business, there were some monies he paid, released the titles. There was some money left. He paid for DMV. Actually, I registered the last cars myself because he was not helping at that time. And I have a text that he said, oh, I'm not the owner anymore. Said, okay, because he's not on any name, he think that he's off the hook and anything gonna happen to me, and I'm here. So he was right. So it was very hard days. I have the school, I have the hospital, and at the same time, I have to get involved, going to find the money to register the car, to release. I didn't release the titles. He actually did release the titles to register, make sure the cars are registered, the titles, customers get the titles. Very hard time. So that's the story. That's how it happened. I never collected. I never had the money. I never have how can I say, available fund to pay for sales taxes. I didn't even know how much sales tax he owes because he sold the cars without even recording how much sales tax we owe. I know he owes sales tax because sales has happened, but he didn't know and he never told me. I said, okay. And I had even text to him, hey, you're closing the business. Please do the things right. So, oh, I'm not on the line. And he tried to, he know that he's safe. So he had the minimum. I had to call his friend, his uncle, I had a lot. Linda can testify to that. She was with me at that time, that I had to go far away to even talk to him. Say, hey, at least tell me. I don't even care where the money is. I know the money's gone. But tell me, where are the sales contracts? Where are all those things? Because there is a lot of things to do. A lot of things. And then, thanks to God, I closed the business. And the titles all registered. But there was no money left. There was some, but he owed the sales taxes from the back. So when I got involved, there was some money for sales taxes that we paid. But the thing is, they were going back to the 2018 period. So he was right behind since 2017 on paying sales taxes. So the sales taxes that was over there, we paid for 2018, or he paid for 2018. At the end, there was no money over there for me to pay. There was a lot of other issues. Like I went through the initial, numbers, and looks like there's $200,000 extra sale that the money is not coming. He doesn't tell me what happened to that. A lot of time, when they do the flooring pay you less. Let's say you sell a car for $20,000. The floor, no, not the flooring company, the finance company. I'm sorry. The finance company pay you 15,000. Then 5,000 gap is over there, but I don't know which one is which one. So if I were to go back to this one, then I would say, okay, now the state is coming and saying, all right, there is this guy who started the business and then left the country. We all agree on that. He was minimally involved in the business. In the 5 years, maybe a few text messages, a very limited number of emails, communications. Out of thousands and thousands of transactions, I think I wrote 3 checks because Mo requested me to do for, there was some emergency and he was out of town. Said, can you help that? And I was out in town. Say, yeah, I can help you with that. So out of thousands, maybe 3 transactions come back to me. I didn't sell any car. I didn't collect any of the money. I didn't move any of the money. The money didn't go to me. So from the outside, okay, there's this guy that was not involved, didn't get the money, didn't sell the car, and then had to be involved going through all these things because of something that he never thought gonna happen or was not his choice. Now the question is, Could he pay the sales taxes that was due? No, because there is no money. The next question would be, did he pocket that much of that money, or was he getting benefit from all those things? That's the next question we need to answer. They didn't answer that, okay, when you were over there, this money that coming, how much of those transactions did you withdraw? Zero. Almost, yeah, I think, yeah, should be zero. How many of those cards did you pay? Did you even have access to next gear account? No. Did you even have access to board of equalization? I still call board of equalization. I think they changed the name. Do you even have access to that? No. There's a text in their evidence that I'm asking more after closing the business or in that time frame that, hey, what is the login for the tax agency? Because you cannot even file, on paper. I didn't even have that. I didn't even have the login to log into the state board of tax. And then now we come and say, oh, this person who didn't even have these things help sometime to make the papers ready is 100% reliable for everything. Okay, I work hard, but I'm not a Superman. Okay, I don't know how possibly I can have all those communication they are saying without text, without email, without physically be present. Running that big business is a lot. Thousands of transactions, thousands of sales has happened. How did I approve any of them? How did I authorize any of them? How was I involved? Their approach was coming over there and say, oh, there is a text that you told Mo that do this. Okay. Don't sell any more car. Okay. So means that you are running the business. That's what we need to judge. If someone tell you something and doesn't even get done, does it mean you are running the show? So these are a lot of questions answered. And during the investigation, I asked them, hey, I'm out of state. Please, there are 10 different businesses over there. There are 3 mechanic shops in the back. There is that Sam guy that actually he said it was over there. There were 2 other neighbors over there, 2 other dealerships over there. There were hundreds of vendors there. I give number for even his partner or salesperson that, hey, tax board, please talk to any of these numbers. Just ask them, who is running the business? None of them were contacted. Who did they contact? The person who was running the business. And they asked, okay, are you responsible? He said, no. He said, okay, so you're not responsible. As simple as that. So I think the whole process, they thought at the beginning is just a straightforward. And I thought at the beginning is so straightforward, just looking from the far. And there's really nothing unclear. If you tell everybody, it just looks like this dude is not responsible for 100%. They didn't even come back and say, okay, I mean, you are responsible for, let's say, 10%, let's say 5% of operations. Say, no. You're responsible for 100% of operation. Without calling, without text, without email, without even being physically present, that cannot happen in a car dealership. That cannot happen in a car dealership. And another things we have is they bring some in the evidence they bring some 1, 2, but it's so out of portion. Like if I ask them, how many of those transactions that you provided in the evidence is done by Amin? Is it more than 1%? Is it 0.0%? I promise you, they don't know that answer because almost zero. Except those 3 checks that I mentioned, that one day helped more. There's no other check I do. So Go to all those hundreds, thousands of pages. Who did all those? Not me. So that's one thing. And then they're asking, okay, I mean, come and pay. From where? Where is the fund? Where is the money? You have the bank account. Where is the money gone? If you show me and they say, oh, there was money available. Yes, there was money available, but not for sales tax. Those owe to other people. Those owe to the next year to release the car. Those are the money that came from the customer and had to be paid to release the title of the vehicle so the vehicle can be transferred. That's a felony if you don't do that. So they must have, so yeah, the money was there, but it was not available. There are two different things. There are too many things. Same as government, that trillions of dollars, but is it available for every little thing? No, it's the same game. Yeah, the money is there, but can you show me if there was any money available for me that I could go and pay it? The third thing was they didn't even provide how much of they couldn't even find out how much of those receipts are collected. Yeah, the sales receipt or something, but how much of that money is being collected? I don't know. I was not there. Did they find out? No, they don't know either. So they did some adjustment, but they don't know either. Unfortunately, everything go bad. I'm not saying someone stole money. Definitely, I didn't gain any. I lost too. So they were saying that, oh, you filed one of the taxes. Yeah. Also, accountants do that. Do you go after accountants if a business doesn't file taxes next time? I filed taxes. I helped them. Yeah, it shows. Most of the time, the manager did it. Sometimes he needed help. I did it. So does that mean that I'm running the business? No. And those numbers actually became available way after the period. After I could get the manager to please come, give me this, give me that, go back, because I couldn't get to anything. I didn't have access to anything. It took a while to even say how much sales they have made. So how can I make a payment even I don't know how much they have sold? They say another thing in 60 in this regulation is you have a person, the business, who didn't pay taxes. Now you want to come to me and say, hey, you're responsible for that guy. Okay, you should do something. You should satisfy some some regulation. One of them is that I willfully neglect paying the taxes. So that's one important thing. They didn't establish that. They just say, yeah, the money was over there, you didn't pay. Okay, first, you know that I was in contact with the Board of Equalization. They know that Mo was not available, and we had a hard time to get the numbers from him just to know how much the business owed. That's first thing. Second, there was no fund for me to willingly not do that. And me going and trying to get all those things straight out means that I'm willing to do something. That goes against the nature. If I was not going to pay, why should I even go there? So I'm doing everything, to help or as much as possible. So you cannot say, oh, he willingly neglect. If that was the thing, I would have said, yeah, the money's gone. We're not going to talk to the board anymore. Let them do the job. But I spend a lot of time. Linda gonna tell you how many calls, how much time I spend to even get the manager to just give me the numbers to be able to know how much we owe the government. And my whole plan was, to pay. From my pocket, already lost. I even bring 30,000, give it to them, and I lost that too. And a lot of things they're mentioning in their evidence, there's like a mix. You have to separate before 2015 and after 2015. The whole game changed in that time. So yes, anything before 2015, I'll be responsible. Anything after 2015, I can argue for that part. So mixing those two make it a little bit more complicated, you know. Another thing, I think it's just too obvious to me, honestly. It's just too obvious to me that none of us should be here. This case should have not been this much spending time on it. Taxpayers' money, you guys, you know, it's just, I'm so sorry, but it was as simple as that. There was a guy who left the business to somebody, trust them. They didn't transfer. Unfortunately, they lost their investment too. They lost the money too. That's my understanding. They go down little by little. So when a business goes down, nobody's happy. And okay, now we come and say, all right, the guy who was minimally involved, there was who was not even over there, the guy who didn't have any transaction related, maybe 3 checks, the guy who has the proof that he could not be involved physically or mentally, the guy who also helped to do the things. Now we are just saying that, oh, this guy that has nothing to do at that time has to be responsible for everything. That's, to me, it's just so simple. But and I don't honestly know why we are here. Do you want me to ask the witnesses some questions, Your Honor?
It's up to you. You have called these witnesses and you can use this time however you would like. So
Okay.
as I said, just direct your questions to one witness or the other. Don't ask them to speak
Okay.
at the same time. Thank you.
Absolutely. Let's Mr. Amir need to go to work. I'm so sorry, Amir. I know. So you know us since 2005. Same. You get involved. He's father of one of my friends. Got involved with the business, and then he started his own business at the same lot. So he was involved, and then one of the partners that took over after I left was actually introduced by him, was his, relative or friend. So he was involved, and and after, and then he closed his business, but was involved, with everything, and he knew what exactly happened. So the first question I have for you, Amir, is, do you agree that after I left, after 2015, I was not involved in running the business and I was not directing the business?
Yes, you are not.
Okay. Another thing is, can you tell the panel, maybe I cannot explain about the flooring, because that's one thing that I think there is some confusion. They see the money in the account and they think that there is money, but actually the money is for next year. Can you also confirm how does the flooring work?
We bought a car with the flooring. The finance company give us the money and we take off the car from auction, bring it in dealership, make it ready for sale. After we sell it, we have to, when we sell it to customer, we have to pay the money. When we collect the money from customer or finance company that finance the customer, give us the money, we have to pay to flooring company and release the title to register the car.
Okay. So the money that we get from the finance, from the bank or from customer when we sell the car, does that belong to the business? What, can we just spend it for the business?
It does belong to business, not nobody else.
No, I mean, does it belong to the dealership or to the flooring company? In this case, Next Gear.
That money stay in our account, and we have to pay it to flooring company.
And what will happen if you don't pay to the flooring company?
They don't release the title,
And what will
and
happen if
we got a problem with the customer. Customer can sue us and ask for register the car.
and that time you're gonna go to DMV investigation and they can basically suspend your license, so the whole business can be
Yes,
shut
that's
down.
right. Yes,
So paying those monies are basically the first priority after selling the car.
yes, sir.
And so we agree. So, and all right, I think he confirms that I was not involved. He knows that I was not involved when I left. Not. I was wondering if the panel or the owners have any questions.
Do you want to have Ms. Camarena testify also?
Yes,
do-
yes.
Or
Whatever
are you saying that,
whatever you say, Your Honor.
are you saying that we could ask Mr. Kosniak questions now so that we can let
I
him
think-
go?
Yes, I think that would be better. So he
Okay,
can.
that's
he has
fine.
to
We can
work
do that.
through, yes.
I'll start with CDTFA. CDTFA, do you have any questions for Mr. Kosniak as a witness?
No, thank you.
Okay, thank you. And then I'll turn to my co-panelists. Judge Geary, do you have any questions for Mr. Kosniak at this time?
Yes, I do. Mr. Kosniak, did you work at the lot that was operated by that corporation
What time?
at any time?
But I worked there till 2014. After 2014, because of my wife got a cancer, I couldn't continue. I closed down my business, almost bankrupt. But I paid everything. I broke, and I sold my house. I sold my business, and I go to take care of my wife.
Let me, so you did not work for the car dealership at any time after
After-
2014?
No,
And did you maintain contact with Mr. Abolfazli while he was in medical school?
what do you mean? After 2014,
Yes.
sometime, because we was friends and we worked together from 2005, started 2005, and sometime we call each other, we ask each other about the situation, and I was happy. He went to medical school. That's great for me, and not other thing, not about the business.
Where was he in medical school?
He went to I believe it's Caribbean. Yeah, he went to Caribbean for medical school.
And did I hear Mr. Abolfazli indicate that you opened the car lot at the same location where this particular lot was?
Yes,
we
before.
Mr. Abolfazli, I'm asking this witness, I'll
Oh,
ask
okay,
you some
sorry.
questions later.
Sorry.
Okay, tell me about when you opened that car lot. When was it?
I don't remember exactly when we started, but I closed on 2014. I believe it 2011. I don't remember exactly.
Did you know Mr. Nori?
Mr. Nuri,
Yeah, Mo Nori. His name is actually, I think, Madad Nori, but they've been referring to him as Mo. Did you know him?
yes, sir.
Did you know Syed?
Say it.
Do you know somebody named Syed that was involved with this car
Said.
dealership?
Yes, sir.
What was his full name?
Reza, I believe Reza. I don't remember the family, but the first name is Reza.
Did he go by Sam?
After I closed the business, transfer the business to transfer the lot to Sam.
Do you know how Mr. Abolfazli first became involved with used car sales?
What do you mean? About what time? What?
Did you know him then when he first became involved?
He was a very close friend by my son. They study in the same school, Calpolipumana.
Okay. Were you in contact with Mr. Abolfazli when he first became involved with used car sales?
2005.
Okay, so were you a friend of his then?
Say it again.
Were you a friend of Mr. Abolfazli in 2005?
2005, yes.
And can you tell us how it is that he became involved in a used car business in 2005?
He was the educated guy, and he was in one of the teacher in Calpolipumana. And at the same time, my son go to Calpolipumana, and he finished his bachelor of degree there.
Was your son involved in the used car business?
But not really. Sometime he came and helped us sometime, but he went to his career and follow his career.
Do you know whether somebody taught Mr. Abolfazli about the used car business?
My what do you mean? I don't understand what you
Do you
talking
know
about.
how Mr. Abolfazli learned about the used car business? If you don't know, you can just say you don't know.
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, he was involved, and I joined to him to work with him.
Are you saying that you taught him about the used car business?
Before I joined to Amin in his lot, he was working, and after that, my son recommend to work with Amin. I want to work with Amin because I need a job.
Okay, so did you know anything about used car sales before you went to work for Amin?
No, Amin teach me everything.
Okay, thank you. Those are all the questions I have.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Yes.
you. And Judge Turner, do you have any questions for this witness?
No, thank you.
Okay. And I don't have any questions for this witness, so I will say, Dr. Kosniak, Mr. Kosniak, we are done with your testimony at this time. And I'll go back to Dr. Abolfazli. I believe you have about 20 minutes left in presenting your case, both for your continued presentation and any questions you want to ask of Ms. Camarena.
Can I leave, Honor?
Yes, you can leave. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Okay.
So I want to ask, just confirm a few things with Linda. But can I use my time after this, the OT, the CDTFA? Because I might need to respond to some of their claims or explain some of their claims.
That is what your rebuttal time is for.
Okay.
Once we hear their case, you'll have another 10 minutes or so to respond to anything that they have raised.
Okay, can I increase that one, put some of my time over there?
I'm sorry, can you increase that?
Yes, can I put some of this time transferred over there to the end, to that 10 minutes?
If need be, sure.
Yes.
Yes, you could,
And-
if you have time left over, you have about 20 minutes left.
Okay, thank you. Just from Linda. Hi. So as far as I recall, you were witnessing a lot of things that was happening, when I was home or outside. So can you tell us since when you know me and how do you see my involvement with the business?
Since 2018, I know you. You had no involvement with the business. You were trying to reach Magna. You tried to call his relative, uncle. He wouldn't respond to your messages. He wouldn't respond to your calls. I mean, I know you, all these years, and you're an honest, hardworking person. You were engineer professor at Cal Poly for many, many years. And now you're a medical doctor. You're very dedicated to your job, to your work, to your patients. And I would never think that you would just leave, a business like that. I was with you most of the time, all those years, and you were not, running that business. We never went there. We never received anything from that business ever, at all.
And you witnessed some of the calls I had, with the
Yes.
manager over there. Uh, did you ever, in a lot of the conversation we have, did you ever see me like operating the business? I mean, talking about how to sell this car, how to do these things, or it was related to the sales tax and these things that he was behind?
No, not at all. You were trying to get the numbers. You were trying to figure out what was going on. You were trying to figure out, you didn't have anything. You didn't have access to things. I remember you would ask for access to find out what happened, and you wouldn't get a response at all. So you were worried. I was there. You were very worried, trying to get everything, in order, and nobody you couldn't reach anyone. And but no, not at all. You were not running that business. I was there with you, those years, especially during after, I think that was 2018, 19, 2021. I mean, all those, I was at all. I never heard you contact or like check in with people or telling them about sales at all. It was mostly to find out what was going on and get reports. And no one wanted to give you that information.
Okay. Did you do you have anything else? Because it's very clear you know that I was not involved in the
No,
business. I
it's
don't know
just
how to
not
ask that
right.
question.
I just want to add that this is not right, especially for someone, that works very hard and helps out a lot of people, saves lives, and is, working 20 plus hours, goes above and beyond for for your patients, and also being a engineer professor for many, many, many years. This is not right. Thank you.
Thank you. No further.
All right, thank you. I will first ask if CDTFA has any questions for Ms. Camarena.
No, thank you.
Okay, and then I will ask if my co-panelists have any questions for Ms. Camarena. Judge Geary
No questions.
and Judge Turner.
No questions.
Okay, thank you. Then
Thank you.
Dr. Abolfazli, if you have a few minutes left, if you want to, if there's anything further you want to say as part of your presentation, or if you are done with your presentation, we can then move on to questions from the panel for you.
Yes, let's do that so I can have it.
Okay. I will start with a couple of questions for you, Dr. Abolfazli.
Absolutely.
Thank you. And then I will, actually, I guess I should say, does CDTFA have any questions for Dr. Abolfazli first?
No, thank you.
Okay, thank you. I will start with a couple of questions and then I will I'll turn to my co-panelists. Dr. Abolfazli, you said that you tried to transfer control of the business to two other individuals,
That's correct.
and that was Mr. Nouri,
That's correct. One of them.
and the other one was,
Sayed Reza. I provided the number for them also during the investigation to the CDTFA, and I already also provided the updated number of him because he would be also a really good source of getting information.
and you said that you tried to transfer control of the business to them. Is there any evidence of what you did to transfer
There
control of the
was,
business?
yes, there was the meeting that we had, the last meeting that we had, we documented on the iPad. Samsung, we had one of those Samsung iPad that actually record the voice also. And you can write it. We did all those meetings over there. Unfortunately, it's Maria was the category 5 that hit the island that I was on it. I lost that. So that was a very unfortunate thing. But that was the initial thing that, hey, how they gonna do the business, or from now on, are gonna go little by little. They had to transfer. They were using my name at the beginning and my line of credit at the beginning for everything, plus bringing their own money, but they were supposed to do little by little. Unfortunately, it never happened. But yes, we had it, but I don't have it.
Sorry. So you had something in writing on an iPad, but it does not exist anymore. Is that what you're saying? Whatever the document was, it was
Not
destroyed.
iPad, tablet, Samsung tablet.
Tablet. Okay, it was on a
Yes.
tablet, and somehow that whatever that evidence was you're not able to give it to us.
Unfortunately, yeah, I lost it during Maria.
Was it a document, or was it like
Like the same thing. When we do the meeting, we just make a note and then it also record the voice. So that'll be like amazing. Unfortunately, I don't know if you heard, you probably remember Maria is the same hurricane that hit Puerto Rico. So it hit my island first, and then he was a category 5, left nothing after. The good thing was I was in US at that time. I just came for vacation to US and I couldn't go back after that. It basically devastated the island.
Is there any other evidence of the efforts you made to transfer control of the business?
One good example would be we put them more as treasurer and secretary. That gives him the power to do the transfer. Because he was supposed to do, I was not in the country. So when we do that, he could go ahead and do the transfer.
So you put them as treasurer and secretary. Do you mean on the Secretary of State's Statement of Information document? Do you mean?
Yes, that's correct. Yes.
Okay. And on any other documents?
There are some documents. These are the main two things I can bring up to support that I intended. The plan was for them to basically do the transfer. I don't want to be legally liable for something I'm not involved in.
And then I also want to ask you about whether you were able to pay the taxes just yourself. Like did you have access to the bank account?
I had access to the bank account, but I was not able to pay the taxes for 3 reasons. The first thing is I don't know how much they owe. I know that some cars are sold, but I don't know, okay, how much to pay, how much you collected for tax. The second thing was, I don't know how much they owe to other people. I don't know, okay, let's say there are 50,000 in the account. First, I don't know how much to pay. The second thing is I don't know how much of these 50,000 belongs to the DMV, Next Gear, which is the flooring company that paid for the car. How much of this, should go for those things. So because those are must first priority. And then that was the second reason. And the third reason is there was no money available after I got the numbers from him.
And you mentioned that you were trying to get the numbers and trying to get the login information for how to log into the business's account with what was then BOE, Board of Equalization, or CDTFA, and you could not
All
get
of
that
them,
in.
yeah.
Yeah, the same. I know it's the
All of
same
them.
agency, right? So you were
No,
trying
I
to.
mean, even for the Next Gear, I didn't have a login. I wanted to know how much he owes, to them. I didn't even have that login information to see how many cars they have on the floor that needs to be paid off, and also the CDTFA. Yeah.
And you said that you weren't able to pay the CDTFA by paper. You had to pay by electronically. Like you had to log in order to pay CDTFA.
I think he said they changed the system sometime after 2015 that things should be online. That's the last thing I remember. And they changed the website from Board of Equalization to something else, and the username password changed at that time.
Right. That's all I have right now. I'm going to turn to my co-panelists and see if they have any questions for you. I'll ask first Judge Geary. Do you have any questions for Dr. Abolfazli?
Yes, please. Doctor, you were a professor was it engineering before you went into the used car business?
At the same time, I was doing two jobs.
So you remained in your position as a professor after
Yes.
Please wait until I finish the question. After you started the car business.
Yes.
Had you had any prior experience at the used car sales before you started this business?
Define experience.
Had you ever been involved in a used car business before starting your own?
I had sold cars. I know about cars. I know about the repairs. And initially I started with a colleague, with a partner whose uncle was the owner of the Alhambra Kia. And initially they were providing the used car. That's how it started.
So you actually worked for this person who had a Kia dealership before you started the business?
My partner.
Okay, and when you say your partner, you mean your partner in this business?
In this business, initially, yes.
And what's his name or her name?
Orang, Orang. But he was also engineer, but shortly after we starting, he separated.
Was he a part owner of the car business that we are here talking about when you first started it?
He was never on the papers, no.
Well, was he still a partner, whether it was on papers or not? In your mind, was he a partner?
Yes. We were working together for the first 6 months, and then he went and get another job.
Did you set up the corporation on your own?
Yes.
Had you ever done that before?
No.
Is this the first used car business that you have ever owned?
Yes.
Who taught you about the used car business?
I'm educated engineer. I learn things. I teach myself.
You taught yourself?
Yes. Classes, courses, online courses, books, and also my friend, and also the Kia dealership.
Did your dealership before you left and at the end of 2014, did your dealership use any kind of software program to manage its purchases and sales?
Yes, they have there's an online program that they use to do all the contracts, all the sales, everything. Yes,
And also keep track of your inventory?
it does. It can if you put. They changed it right before I leave. They changed it. I was using a different program, but when they switched to next gear give them their own program. So the things changed, but that software had the capability. Yes.
Before you left for medical school, were you involved in the day-to-day management of the business?
Uh, Initially I was, yes. It
Did you,
gradually decreased during the 2014. In middle of the 2014, Ray joined, so he was a great help and they were doing good. So it was going down little by little. My involvement got less and less.
but otherwise the business was doing well before you left?
The business was,
Was it doing well when you left for medical school?
yeah, I think, yeah, it was doing good, yeah.
What was your capital investment in the corporation?
I didn't have that much at that time.
How much was it?
Maybe like me, nothing, honestly, nothing at that time.
Had you ever had a seller's permit before the one that you applied for this business?
No, this is the first salesman.
Were you ever involved in filing the sales and use tax returns for this business before you left for medical school?
Yes, I was.
And were those paper returns or electronic?
I was usually doing paper. No, let me recall. At the beginning, it was paper, but at some point it was electronic.
So you were familiar with electronic filing before you left for medical school, correct?
I think yes. Yeah, it changed. That system of electronic change, yes, when I was in business, yes.
When did Syed Eslame obtain an interest in your business?
I don't know about the detail. He might be a little confused, or I might not know, but he got involved in I'm not sure, 2011, 2010, something at that time. So we start sharing the lot. Yeah, I think it was 2009. Yeah, it was 2009 after the crash. Yeah, he got involved. He was looking for a lot. So we start sharing the lot. And that was the initial involvement with him.
So did he ever own a part of your business?
I don't know, not till I was there, no.
You said that everything had to be done quickly when right before you left for medical school at the end of 2014. When were you accepted to medical school?
It was December, I think December 14 or 16, and the school starts January 1st.
That seems unusual. Had you been on a waiting list?
No, I was good.
It seems unusual that a school would only give you weeks to prepare to move to the Caribbean to attend medical school. Was there something unusual about your situation that left you with so little notice?
If it changes your decision, I can find the letter of acceptance and provide it.
That's up to you. I'm just
I don't know how is it
asking
related.
questions. What do you think the corporation was worth, including all of its assets and liabilities at the end of 2014 when you transferred it to Misters Nori and the other gentleman?
Say the question again.
What was your corporation worth when you transferred it?
It was negative. It didn't have that much of an asset.
Well, you had assets, correct? You had leasehold interest, correct?
I mean, net assets.
You had some inventory that had liens on it, but you did have inventory, correct?
Okay. In accounting, you have asset and have liability. The difference would be the net asset. Yeah, if you have hundreds of thousands up to 1 million asset, against them, there are 1 million liability. Same as I'm trying to explain. When we buy a car, we put it on the flooring. Flooring means you buy the car, it's added to your asset, but you haven't paid it, so your liability goes up. So if you have an asset, you haven't paid for it, your net worth or your net asset gonna stay the same.
Thank you. So what were your assets worth? We'll talk about your liabilities in a minute.
It was not that much. I think it was 0. I don't know the exact number, but
So you
nothing.
did, so I'm not talking about your net worth or the net worth of the company. I'm talking about the assets of the company. What were the assets worth when you signed it over to the other gentleman?
I don't have the exact number, but at that time they had, I think, 50, 60 cars. If you say 50, 60 cars, maybe, 6,000, about 400,000.
Did you
You're talking
Did
about
you-
2014, correct?
yes.
Okay.
Did you sign the flooring agreement with the company that was providing that service at the time you left?
I signed it before I did.
That's what I
Everything
mean,
was
but
in
you were the
service,
one,
yes.
you were the one who signed that agreement, correct?
Exactly.
Did you notify that company that you were selling the corporation?
Did not notify the company, no.
Did you give notice to any other entity or individuals that you were selling the corporation? And you received no money from either of these gentlemen at the time of the sale, correct?
I did some investment, about $30,000. I got a loan for $30,000. I give it to them. They were doing good actually, so I give it to them, and they worked with it, and they give me some money at the beginning, but when they lost the things, nothing after.
Was there ever any formal transfer of corporate shares?
I'm sorry?
Was there ever any formal transfer of corporate shares to the
No.
gentleman that you sold?
You mean the stock? No.
Yeah,
But
yes.
no. That's what the secretary is supposed to do, and he didn't do it.
You filed a closeout, do you recall that? Maybe.
I had to.
Okay. You indicated on that closeout that you had not sold the business. Why is that?
Because when you close the business, I didn't sell the business. I closed it.
But on that closeout document, didn't you indicate that you had not sold the business?
The closing, when you go to DMV, I was not transferring the business to some other people. We're just closing the business, no more business.
I'm talking about the closeout document that you filed with what then would have been the California Department of Tax and Fees Administration.
Yes, that document has two purposes. If a business is going out of business, so your license, no more business, nothing. The second purpose is the business is being transferred to another person, which means the operation going to continue under some other business. That was not the case for us.
Okay. So that's what you meant when you indicated on that form that you had not sold the business?
Exactly. That is the only indication.
You signed, I believe, a handwritten tax return for the second quarter of 2019, correct?
Say again?
I believe you signed a handwritten tax return for the second quarter of 2019. Is that correct?
I don't recall, but it's possible. Because it was probably too past due and they cannot do it. They probably couldn't do it online. So after a certain amount of time, that's what, oh, maybe the corporation was closed. Yeah, I think that should be the reason. Maybe the corporation was closed and the only way to file the tax, sales tax was on hand. That's what I think I was told at that time.
Do you have any recollection as you sit here today of actually completing that document?
I don't remember what documents or when, but it is possible, as I mentioned. If it's my signature on it, then I have done it. Possibly.
When you left for medical school, you remained as a signator on the company's bank account. Is that correct?
I was signature on the bank account till the bank account were closed. Yes. That's
Why?
correct. Why not?
Why? Pardon me?
Because I was still in the list. They haven't transferred all the liabilities. So I should, they didn't want it, I think. We never get the chance. There was no need for me to remove myself. I was out of country and then I was not involved. And what's the benefit of doing that?
While you were in medical school, you would have regular breaks, and during some of these, you returned to the area where the car lot was being operated. Is that correct?
It's a possibility that I'll come back because I have my friends over there to see, not to do business.
Did you make any effort to go to the dealership and speak with Mr. Nori or with whoever else might have been around about the business?
I don't think so. Maybe a very brief, not getting involved in management because they supposed to transfer the business and it hasn't been done.
Thank you, Doctor. Those are the only questions I have.
My pleasure, Your Honor.
Thank you. And now I will ask Judge Turner, do you have any questions at this time?
I don't.
Okay, thank you. Then I will say we've heard appellant's presentation, and now we can turn to CDTFA for its presentation. And CDTFA estimated it would take 30 minutes. So it's 3 o'clock, so I anticipate we will complete that at 3:30. CDTFA, you can begin whenever you're ready.
Thank you. The primary issue in this appeal is whether appellant is personally liable for the unpaid sales and use tax liabilities of a Min Auto Group doing business as OC Imperial Motors for the period of January 1st, 2019 through July 31st, 2019. The department maintains its position that appellant is liable as a responsible person pursuant to Revenue and Taxation Code 6829 for the unpaid liabilities of AAG for the liability period. As you're all aware, 4 elements must be met to impose personal liability under Section 6829. 1, the corporation must be terminated. 2, the corporation must have collected sales tax reimbursement on its retail sales of tangible personal property, or TPP. 3, the person must have been responsible for the payment of sales and use tax. And 4, the person's failure to pay must have been willful. Pursuant to the August 6, 2025 pre-hearing conference minutes and orders, there's no dispute as to the first element. Both parties agree that AAG terminated its business operations. Therefore, the first element is satisfied. As to the second element, Personal liability can be imposed only to the extent the corporation collected sales tax reimbursement on its sales of TPP in this state, but failed to remit the tax to the department when due. See Section 6829C and Regulation 1702.5A. The evidence shows that AAG collected sales tax reimbursement on its sales of TPP. AAG's vehicle sales contracts, which are in Exhibit A, pages 28 to 30, or an example is, show that the sales tax reimbursement was separately charged and collected. AAG's general manager, Meghdad Nouri, also confirmed that sales tax reimbursement was charged and collected on all taxable sales. See Exhibit A, page 26. Also during the liability period, AAG was reporting taxable sales and making sporadic payments. Exhibit A, pages 20 to 22. It seems unlikely AAG would not have collected sales tax reimbursement from its customers if it knew it was making and reporting taxable sales. Based on this evidence, the second element is satisfied. As to the third element, whether appellant was a responsible person, the evidence shows that appellant was an officer of AAG who had control, supervision of, and the responsibility for the filing of returns for the payment of tax and had a duty to act for the corporation in complying with the sales and use tax law, Section 6829B and Regulation 1702.5B1. Appellant signed and is listed as the sole corporate officer and president, secretary, and treasurer on AAG's seller's permit application dated May 6, 2005, Exhibit A, pages 16 to 17. In the Statement of Information filed with the Secretary of State on August 10, 2017, appellant continues to be listed as the CEO and president and as the individual completing the form, Exhibit A, page 18. Appellant also signed and is listed as president on both AAG's Notice of Closeout and Authorization of Electronic Transmission of Data, dated November 8, 2019, Exhibit A, pages 24 to 25. According to appellant's own Exhibit 4, he issued a sales and use tax payment in June 2018 and filed the fourth quarter 2018 return, the quarter directly preceding the liability period at issue, as well as issued the sales and use tax payments in March and May of 2019 during the liability period, appellant's Exhibit 4. Appellant also filed AAG's second quarter 2019 sales and use tax return, Exhibit A, pages 20 to 22, and appellant's Exhibit 4. Finally, appellant was in numerous discussions with the department and an AAG employee regarding AAG's tax obligations and compliance. See Exhibit A, pages 19 and 68 through 78. Appellant argues that he transferred control of AAG's business operations to AAG's general manager, Mr. Nouri, and potentially another individual to attend medical school out of the country, and that Mr. Nouri and this other individual potentially was responsible for the operations and financial management of AAG. However, there is nothing documenting the alleged business transfer in evidence, and the evidence we do have shows that appellant continued to remain involved in the corporation's sales and use tax matters. Furthermore, being physically present at the business or responsible for day-to-day operations is not a requirement for personal liability under Section 6829. Appellant had a duty to act on behalf of AAG, which includes ensuring compliance with sales and use tax laws, even if that responsibility was delegated to others, as appellant is alleging. Absent an express limitation on appellant's duties and powers, appellant was responsible to ensure the corporation's sales and use tax obligations were met, even if he had delegated those tasks. See Commercial Security Company versus Modesto Drug Company, a 1919 case, and the site is 43 Cal App 162, pin site 173. Therefore, the third element is also satisfied. As to the fourth element of personal liability, the evidence shows that appellant's failure to pay AAG's tax liabilities was willful. As you know, a failure to pay may be willful, even though such failure was not due to a bad purpose or motive. Failure to pay is willful if the person had knowledge that the taxes were not being paid and had the authority and ability to pay the taxes, but failed to do so. Failure to pay, again, may be willful even without bad purpose or motivation. See Regulation 1702.5 B2. As to appellant's authority, appellant had the authority to direct the financial affairs of the corporation, including the authority to pay taxes. Appellant was the officer and founder of AAG, and at various times he was the director and CEO, but he was always the president and a signor on AAG's accounts with the ability to add additional signers. Exhibit A, pages 16 to 26 and page 82. These positions are evidence that appellant had broad, implied, and actual authority to ensure compliance with the sales and use tax law, even if that responsibility was delegated to others. See again, Commercial Security Company versus Modesto Drug Company, with the same citation as before. Nothing indicates that appellant's authority was limited in any way. In fact, appellant signed checks drawn against AAG's business account during the liability period from January 2019 through July 2019, which demonstrates his authority to direct corporate funds. See Exhibit A, pages 31 through 37. Appellant has claimed that beginning in 2014, he no longer had control of the company's operations and financial decisions, and that he lacked authority. However, appellant was in numerous discussions with the department and with an employee of AAG regarding AAG's tax obligations and compliance. See Exhibit A, pages 19 and 68 through 78. For example, appellant discussed AAG's sales and use tax matters with Mr. Nouri over text message during the liability period, including giving direction and asking questions regarding payment on the following dates. On May 2nd, 2019, quote, update sales taxes, we need to know that, end quote. May 5th, 2019, quote, when will you make the sales tax file ready, end quote. May 27th, 2019, sales tax for last month might still not be late. Please check and pay so we might not get penalty for it, end quote. June 21st, 2019, quote, we must file taxes and make plan. Situation is getting out of hand, end quote. And those can be found in Exhibit A, pages 68 through 74. Appellant also signed and filed the untimely second quarter 2019 sales and use tax return on December 22nd, 2021, and discussed AAG's outstanding sales and use tax issues with the department on various occasions, including November 8th, 2019, and December 23rd, 2021, and November 8th, 2021. Exhibit A, pages 19, 21 to 22, and 81 to 82. Thus, on and after the taxes became due, appellant had the authority to pay the taxes or cause them to be paid. As for knowledge and ability, AAG's sales tax liabilities were based on non-remittance returns for first and second quarter 2019, and a department estimate for part of third quarter 2019, the July 1st through 31st period. The liabilities became due on the dates that the returns were due, which are on or before the last day of the month following each quarterly period. Those dates were April 30th, 2019 for first quarter 2019, July 31st, 2019 for second quarter 2019, and October 31st, 2019 for third quarter 2019. We will take these quarter by quarter. For first quarter 2019, the evidence shows that on or after April 30th, appellant had knowledge that AAG's taxes were due but not being paid. We have in the record text messages between appellant and Mr. Nouri in May 2019 that appear to relate to this quarter. For example, appellant's text dated May 27th, 2019 appears to relate to this quarter, and AAG's late filing of its first quarter 2019 sales and use tax return is also very close in time to appellant's June 21st, 2019 text. See Exhibit A, pages 68 to 73. Appellant also had a discussion with department staff on November 8th, 2019, in which he was directly informed for the remaining amounts due for first quarter 2019. Exhibit A, page 19. Therefore, while appellant had at least had actual knowledge that the first quarter 2019 tax liability was not being paid as of November 8th, 2019, the date of the conversation with the department, the evidence supports a finding that appellant had knowledge of the first quarter 2019 liability was not being paid as early as May 27th, 2019. The evidence shows that AAG had deposits. Did you need to say something, Judge Brown? No?
Can everyone hear me? I want to ask everyone to pause for a minute because my microphone just gave out.
We can hear you
No.
fine.
And I can't hear anyone speaking.
That's a different issue.
Hold on. Microphone icon. I am clicking on the microphone icon in Zoom. I just need to select a different speaker. Sorry. Okay, can someone speak?
Hello? Can you hear
I
me?
can hear
Yes, okay, I can hear you now. Thank you. Sorry, go ahead.
We can hear you as well. Thank you.
Okay.
The evidence shows that AAG had deposits at JP Morgan Chase of over $11,900 after May 27th, 2019, $38,000 in June 2019, and $83,000 in July 2019. Exhibit H. These deposits exceed the business's tax liability for first quarter 19, and in fact exceed the total tax liability for all 3 quarters of the liability period. See Exhibit 8G. Thus, appellant had the ability to pay AAG's first quarter 2019 tax liability. AAG's second quarter 2019 sales and use tax return was due on July 31st, 2019, and AAG late filed a non-remittance sales and use tax return signed by appellant on December 22nd, 2021. Exhibit A, pages 20 to 22. Prior to submitting the return, appellant was also informed during that November 8th, 2019 phone conversation with the department that while the department received payments for second quarter 2019, the return had not been filed. Exhibit A, page 19. There is also another text message between appellant and Mr. Nouri dated September 21st, 2019, which likely relates to the second quarter 19 liability, in which appellant sought information regarding the, quote, sales tax file, end quote. These interactions show appellant was aware of filing deadlines and AAG's recurring tax issues. Given these conversations, appellant at least had knowledge that the second quarter 2019 liability was not being paid as of November 8th, 2019. However, the evidence supports a finding that appellant had knowledge of the second quarter 19 liability as early as July 31st, 2019, the date that the taxes became due. The evidence shows AAG had deposits at JP Morgan Chase of over $30,000 in August 2019, after the liability became due on July 31st, 2019, Exhibit H. Again, these deposit amounts well exceeded the business's tax liability for second quarter 2019, Exhibit G. Thus, appellant had the ability to pay AAG's second quarter 2019 tax liability. Finally, appellant filed a notice of closeout for AAG on November 8th, 2019, citing the date the business closed as July 31st, 2019. AAG did not file a closeout sales and use tax return or pay any taxes for the period of July 1st, 2019 through July 31st, 2019. AAG's return for this period was due on October 31st, 2019. During that November 8th, 2019 phone conversation, appellant informed the department that the business had closed and stated that he would have someone file the return. Exhibit A, page 19. However, no final return was ever filed, and the department estimated AAG's gross receipts for this period and issued a notice of determination dated March 26th, 2020, Exhibit E. When AAG did not pay or petition that determination, the department issued a demand dated April 28th, 2020, Exhibit F. Appellant informed the department on December 23rd, 2021, that he did not contest the third quarter 2019 liability, Exhibit A, page 81. For this period, appellant at least had knowledge of the third quarter 2019 tax liability as not being paid as of November 8th, 2019, the date of the conversation with the department. However, given his involvement in AAG's sales and use tax matters, the evidence supports a finding that appellant had knowledge as early as the date the taxes became due on October 31st, 2019. After the liability became due on October 31st, 2019, the evidence shows AAG had an account balance of $1,879 in its Bank of America account through April 30th of 2020. Exhibit A, page 61. Furthermore, the evidence shows AAG was making sales and collecting sales tax reimbursement from its customers during July 2019, which were likely included in its July deposits at JP Morgan Chase of over $83,000. And as such, funds represented by the tax reimbursement collected should have been available to pay the tax. See Exhibit A, pages 38 through 39, and Exhibits G and H. Therefore, appellant had the ability to pay AAG's third quarter 19 tax liability. In sum, AAG collected tax reimbursement throughout the liability period. Appellant was a person responsible for AAG's sales and use tax obligations, and appellant's failure to pay was willful, meaning appellant had an actual knowledge that the taxes were not being paid and had the authority and ability to pay the taxes, but failed to do so. Based on all the evidence provided, the department has met its burden of proving all elements for imposing personal liability to appellant. For these reasons, we request that the appeal be denied. Thank you.
Thank you, CDTFA. I will now turn to my co-panelists and ask if they have any questions. I'll start with Judge Geary again. Do you have questions for CDTFA?
Only to ask for some clarification about the record that counsel was citing to the record that I have, which would be the opening brief. I'm assuming, Ms. Jacobs, were you citing to the department's opening brief with those page citations?
No, I was citing to Exhibit A. I mean, I was citing to various exhibits. The decision is Exhibit A, and the decision has exhibits attached. So I was citing to the exhibits attached to the decision, which would be our Exhibit A.
Because the set of documents that we have, which is basically respondent's opening brief with an index, and following the index are a bunch of exhibits in they appear to be in alphabetical order, and I don't see any Bates page numbers at the bottom of any of these exhibits. So I was only inquiring to find out if you were referring to a different document, because we will not be able to, I don't think I at least have not been able to follow your page references.
Excuse me, were you asking about appellant's exhibits or about my exhibits?
Your exhibits.
Okay. I don't believe a hearing binder was made or was not at least distributed for this case. So I was citing to the PDF page numbers. All of our exhibits should be PDF. So if you go to our Exhibit A, then the PDF page number would be the number that I was citing to for each of those exhibits.
Okay, so you're referring, what you did is you broke out each exhibit separately and are referring to the PDF page numbers for each exhibit.
Correct. Unless there's a hearing binder that we receive, which we didn't in this case, the only thing I can do is cite to those page numbers for each exhibit individually.
Okay, thank you. Those were the only questions I had.
And Judge Turner, do you have any questions for CDTFA at this time?
I don't.
Okay. I guess I will ask CDTFA briefly, if you can address the evidence of appellant trying to, texting Mr. Nuri asking about the tax liability and trying to get the tax liability paid. How does that fit into CDTFA's argument that appellant's failure to pay was willful?
We believe that that is evidence that appellant was directing the payment of the taxes. So, and even if you delegate authority, appellant still had authority to pay the taxes or cause them to be paid. So we believe that those text messages are actually evidence that appellant was, one, still involved in the business, and two, was exercising his authority by directing those payments.
Thank you. And then, can you, do you have anything to say to address Dr. Abolfazli's argument that he wasn't able to pay because CDTFA had switched to pay and file because CDTFA had switched to online filing?
I believe that when appellant filed the second quarter 2019 liability, he filed a paper filing. That's what's in the record. So we do accept paper filings, and I believe if Mr. Abolfazli had called and needed help logging in, we do have a call center that helps taxpayers with that issue.
Okay. Thank you. I don't have any more questions for CDTFA at this time, so I'm going to turn back to Dr. Abolfazli and say, Dr. Abolfazli, we now have time for your rebuttal that you can address. We don't need you to repeat anything that you've already said, but you can address any new arguments and information since you ended your presentation half an hour ago. So this is what we would call your rebuttal. We had scheduled this for 10 minutes. Will that be sufficient?
That should be fine, yes.
Okay, then go ahead with your rebuttal whenever you're ready.
Okay. So this is the thing. Again, same thing, missing the forest for the tree. Same thing. I'm sorry, I don't know. Our logic are different. One question, I don't know if they can answer this question. How could have I paid? Tell me, this day you could pay this much. I just need to know that answer, because they are saying, oh, he could pay. Oh, there was money. Oh, there are a lot of money coming. Yeah, I know. I just told you. Hundreds of thousands of dollars coming. But does that mean I could just go and get some money out of that? That was my question. I want you to prove that, okay, at this date, everything, all the cars were paid, the cars that you sold, you collected the money, and this money was left over. You did say that, actually. You said $1,870. I agree. So I think that is our deposit with Board of Equalization, if it's Bank of America. It's not even our checking account. So yes, if the cards are paid, if the DMV get paid for registration, whatever money is left over, yours. Show me where. You just keep saying money is available. You had authority. Show me where. That's my question. It's good to argue all that. That's one thing. The second thing, On the minutes that we filed with the state, it doesn't say I'm liable to file those things. I think that was misrepresentation, or if you can show me exactly what. Another thing is, what percentage of taxes were filed by me? What percentage were filed by the manager? Do you know that number? It's a big percentage filed by the manager, which means he had the authority. He was filing. So it wasn't just my responsibility. He was supposed to actually get an accountant to do that, but he didn't because of financial. So by just saying that I filed one of the taxes, oh, he was responsible for everything. No. You cannot go to the accountant and say, oh, you filed for these business taxes. Come on, pay the taxes. Second thing, willingfulness. I'm just showing everywhere that I tried to help and solve the problem. I contacted him everywhere. I asked him 100 times, bring the numbers. Let's see how we can pay this. That shows willing to pay, not willing to pay. If the person doesn't want to pay the sales tax, don't keep asking, hey, please tell me how much tax we owe so we can do something about it. Yes? Yes, I was involved. I was asking to that level after he closed the business. And then you said we filed the taxes on December 2019, October 31st, 2019. How much was in the account? 1,800 in Bank of America. So we didn't have the money to pay. There was no fund available. All this going against your argument. All these things going against their own argument. They're saying, okay, they know they owe money. Okay, yeah, we know they owe money. And then they filed in October, and then there's no money. Okay, so let me get it straight again. We know we owe money. The business owe money, not us. We know the business owe money. It's a legal entity. Then the business filed taxes, and then there's no money left to pay for those taxes. That doesn't mean that, oh, someone else is responsible to pay those taxes. That also goes against having the fund. You didn't show the availability of the fund. You didn't show the willingness. I actually showed that I did everything to file the taxes. If it wasn't because of me calling 100 times, 100 places to get the numbers, to know at least how much the business owes the state, you didn't even have these numbers. That is willingness to help. So believe me, if there was a money over there, yours. We didn't pocket any money. This rule is for the people who close business, pocket the money, and say bye to the state. That didn't happen here. Mo didn't pocket money. I didn't pocket money. We didn't steal the money from the government. It's just an unfortunate situation that the business goes down. A lot of businesses go down. We can scare the businesses, so hopefully never open a business and do the same as we did. I hope so. Or maybe never, tell people what will happen if you come to California, what they treat you. That's a different story. But the fact is, I did everything in my power to make the files. I had a lot of communication. All my communication, when you go back, is all about closing the business, paying the dues, and finding a solution as a help. None of them is directing on how to do business. None of them is directing how to sell cars. None of them is operational involvement. So that's what I want you to separate. That's what I want you to see. When you see willingfulness, yeah, this guy is willingly coming and helping us. So how can I say the guy who did everything to know how much he owes suddenly willingly didn't pay? It just don't add up. Have access to the fund. The fund was not ours. We just explained the car sells, the money come. The money is not for business. The money is for whoever had the car floored. Yeah, the money come, 200,000 come. But if you owe $202,000 on that car or cars, you have to pay $202,000 to make the sale happen. If you don't do that, there is basically no sale. I don't know how to explain that. Maybe someone else can explain it better. I tried to bring Amir, maybe he can explain it better. Just coming money to the account doesn't mean money is available. That's like someone else's money to me. The second said, oh, you know you had owned. Yeah, I know, but how much? I didn't know. Could I pay? No. How can I pay if I don't know how much it is? How much I can pay if I don't know how much he owes for the car? Paying the car after sale is the main thing. And when I did get involved at the end, so there was no willingness. There was no fund available. I did everything to solve the solution. I even say we're going to get from our pocket. Let's get from our pocket and put, get rid of, the state. But just get more and more. And then they send me bill for 40,000 and we don't even sell that much. What's the difference in that 200,000? Nobody even answered. You said, yeah, there is a sales on the paper. That's on the paper. Was it collected? Show me that money was collected. I can put anything on the paper. Was it collected? Where is the money on that paper? We don't know. You don't know. I don't know either. Because I was not involved. And I cannot find out either. What I know is cars sold, cars get paid to whoever owns them. And then there was little money left that we paid to the sales tax department. We paid a lot of money, but at the end, there was a balance left. And Mo lost his money. Everybody lost their money. And now you're coming and saying, looks like that we pocketed those money. No, we didn't. There was just nothing to pay, nothing more to pay. And I was living off a student loan, a 700,000 loan, student loan. I was not even making money over there. So this rule is to prevent people to steal from government, to close the business and say, buy, pocket the money. It is not for the unlucky people like us and a stupid person like me who just trust, and left and forgot to transfer the business. So now they're asking, now I've been through this process for all these many years, how much headache you got us through. And the fact still remain the same. The state come, there is a business that is gone down, no money is left, they have lost everything, and they're coming and looking and say, okay, who didn't sell car here? This guy. Who was not involved? This guy. Who didn't sign any check? I didn't sign any check. Object to your thing that I was involved in check writing or transaction. No, that's wrong. That's wrong accusation. I need you to show that if you said that had been in a few months there was some transaction done by me. I need to see that. Can I ask them to show that?
Actually, I was Dr. Abolfazli, it is actually the end of your time. We said you were
Because
going to
they
take 10
are
minutes.
presenting wrong thing. I didn't have any transaction. They said I've been transacting all different. No, show me where. I don't see it.
And I'll say that we said that you were going to have 10 minutes for a rebuttal. So I will say that unless you have anything further, think we've heard your rebuttal. I will ask if CDTFA wants to respond in any way. Or has anything further to add in response?
No, thank you.
Okay. I'm going to turn to my co-panelists and say, do you have any further questions for appellant? Judge Geary?
No questions. Thank you.
Okay. Judge Turner?
No questions. Thank you.
Okay. I believe then, Dr. Abolfazli and CDTFA, that we have heard all of your arguments. Does anyone have anything further to add before we close the record? If not, then I will say, Yeah, yes, Dr. Abolfazli. Sorry, go
I
ahead.
don't
You
know
were
that
saying?
they presented something that is not a fact, so I don't know if I should answer, or I don't want you to put your judgment based on some untrue facts.
The panel will consider that as part of your argument. Okay.
Thank
All
you.
right, then, I have admitted the exhibits. We have heard witness testimony. We've heard the arguments from both parties. And now I can say that this concludes the hearing. The record is closed and the case is submitted today. The panel members will meet and confer and decide the case based on the evidence, the arguments, and the applicable law. And we will mail both parties our written decision no later than 100 days from the date the record closes, which is today. So the hearing is now adjourned, and I believe the next hearing will begin after a short break, after about 10 minutes. Thank you everyone
Sure.
for participating.
Quick
Yep.
question. How can I update my address?
With OTA or with CDTFA?
With whatever, with both of them. I mean, it's gonna be online, the decision, yes? Or it's gonna be mailed?
All right. The OTA staff will contact you
Okay.
after the hearing.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you. The hearing is now adjourned and we are off the record. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. I'm sorry about all the technical difficulties.
Thank you.
It was so much. Thank you, Judge.
Welcome.
Have a good day. Thank you so much.
You too.
Break. Oh. Yeah. Hopefully I have an offer to move to your area, hopefully soon. Let's see.